Hi there, Virgo. Welcome to your April 2025 tarot reading. It's Raina here. So, yeah, for those of you, I'm sure that there are a lot of people that are coming from my main channel, but for anybody that is, so welcome for those people, but also for the people that are um, discovering me for the first time. Welcome. I hope that you enjoy this. If you do, I would love to have you subscribe. I would love to kind of build up my backup channel. My main channel is Raina Moon Astrology. So if you're interested in astrology, please go there. If you came here from my main channel, I do have videos for the end of March up on my main channel. I am going to retain one set of readings for that channel. I initially said I was going to do just whatchamacallit, like everything here, but I decided to at least have one because that's kind of like one of the services I offer are private tarot readings, and I feel like that it makes a lot of sense to keep that there. But the bulk will be over here. And I don't think I will be doing astrology here. I'll never say never, but I think I will leave that to my main channel. By the way, have you seen that the first three cards I've picked are all major arcana cards? That's pretty wild. Um, so, anyway, okay. So let me just gather up these other cards because they're all on the side here. What I say about the tarot is that, to me, you can call it synchronicity. And if you noticed, I picked the Ten of Swords, which is considered a challenging card. And then I picked the Five of Cups, another challenging card. So the fact that they went one after the other, I really do feel that that is pretty telling. Because the last card is very positive, or it can be. Okay, we're going to bring up these two cards. I'm going to do the past one first. In the past position, we have the Lover's card, which is a card of, love, or can be even something sexual intimacy, but it's also about emotional intimacy, bearing your soul. And that's why they use nudity here, I feel, is to indicate that. Sometimes there's this, the, 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 the game plan is that you want that deep connection, and you only have the physical side, you don't have the emotional side, or maybe you're afraid to even share that side of yourself. You don't trust, for whatever reason. So that may be something. And but the Lover's card is also a card of Gemini, and it's a card of a choice. So with the heart of the matter, yeah, and I forgot to say the Hermit card here as a central theme is a card of Virgo. So this is your card, Virgo, and we know it's self-explanatory that the Hermit can be about someone who is alone, and but really, I always think of the 12th house, that your opposite sign Pisces rules, which is about solitude, not just about being lonely, alone, whatever that conjures up for you, but solitude, or you could say soul searching at a deep level, trying to come up with something to guide you. And it might be because there's some important decision that you have to make. Also, I would be curious, if I could find this out, but I really think of the Lover's card, I mean the Hermit card, as if somebody is married or they're cohabitating with someone, that they are separated from that person, maybe before they're making that decision whether they want to fully sever the relationship or not. And the reason I said I want to check with other people is because, there's always, when you learn the tarot, you're always given these keywords about what each house each card represents. And but I remember reading in one of the tutorials, they said that you can impose your own understanding of each card, which I think is so true. At the time, I didn't really grasp that because it seemed like almost like being a heretic to do something like that. But really, I get it now because I always tend, because I have the moon in Virgo, so I'm always tending to do things by the book. And really, that's why the tarot is such an intuitive art, because you bring yourself to it. So everything that you're interpreting, you're going to interpret in your own way. So, yeah, that's how I personally see the Lover's card when you're dealing with a relationship issue. But I'm just curious if other readers ever think the same thing as that. And the higher message is the Judgment card. And that's interesting because a judgment card could be even like a legal judgment, but this is more of a philosophical position. The higher message, meaning that it's not just the literal message, but the higher message. And so, how I interpret this is about the issue of judgment altogether. Because if we look at the Lover's card as a decision that has to be made, do you have that kind of faith in your own judgment? Actually, I think that I remember reading that people who have a lot of indecision in their life, that they don't trust their own judgment. And I thought, wow, yeah, that's exactly what that means. That's exactly why people are like that. And I that's a big reason. I think also sometimes it's easy, like if you can see different sides of an issue, it can be hard to, everything seems like it could be the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. So I think that can be another reason why people are indecisive. But yeah, and so maybe that's something with you, Virgo, that you are uh, kind of maybe even beating yourself up because you're not sure if it's your problem or somebody else's problem, and it might not even be anybody's problem. It might just simply be that if this is a relationship issue, that it's not what you thought it was going to turn into. Maybe it's something, like for instance, maybe it's a one-dimensional relationship and you really wanted a romantic relationship. But then, the truth is, even like as a card of the spiritual message or the higher message, it's also saying the ball is in your court because you have to like go back. In other words, you do have to like look at yourself at the end of the day instead of looking at the other person, because if you say to yourself, this person, all they want to do is have sex, and they don't want to go out and do anything like some kind. They don't even want to talk. They just want to do that, and they don't want to be a couple and experience like fun activities together. Well, besides that one fun activity that they think is fun. And yeah, you can like judge them for that, but then you have to, the finger that's pointed outwards comes back to yourself, because you go, well, wait, what is my part in this dance? Because I'm dancing with this person. How did I conduct myself? Did I give them any, idea that that wasn't what I wanted to do. So that's the kind of thing. And then you begin to see cause and effect because the judgment card is connected to karma, which means action. So there's an action, there's a reaction. And there's a saying, we teach people how to treat us. And part of that is how we behave and how other people think, the message that we're sending out. So it's a very interesting thing. And the card that crosses you is the Ten of Swords. And this is, it's funny. I think this is the first time that I might be getting the whole gist of why they're doing this. If you're familiar with the Rider-Waite deck, you know that this deck that I have here, which I think is called the Modern Witches Tarot, is that they have a very similar illustration to Rider-Waite. If you didn't look closely, you would probably think it is Rider-Waite. For the Ten of Swords, they have like an animal with swords sticking out of its back. And it's supposed to mean betrayal. And yet in this deck, they have, I think this deck is either exclusively or mostly female images. And they have this woman and she's like on her cell phone. And I always thought that was so quirky. They have certain cards that kind of are kind of funny and quirky, but I never really made the connection. And I think it's kind of like this idea of, when you get betrayed, are you even aware that you're being betrayed? Are you not just are you on your cell phone and but distracted by something, but it could be like denial and that kind of thing. And so some people, either because they've been treated so badly in their life and they just assume that this is how they deserve to be treated, or if they're just in denial that something is actually happening, that is happening. With Virgo, a lot of times I think it's that servant vibe that kind of rears its ugly head, because there's a beautiful side of the servant, of the humble servant who just wants to help other people, but then there's the shadow side that's almost like the Pisces, the opposite sign, where it's almost like kick me, or I'm not just the servant, I'm the slave. I'm actually doing something against my will because I feel like I have to do it for whatever reason. So understanding when if you are alone for some reason, and maybe it's not even being separated, like a legal separation or something like that. Maybe it's something where a person that you were with said, I'm out of here, and then you took it to be, oh no, I'm all alone again. And you don't realize that they actually did you wrong, and that you should, know this and not be pining away for that person, because once you realize what they did, you can be more detached about it. Yeah, and now I understand why this card came up as what's coming in. Five of Cups, mourning the loss of something. But this card is so interesting because they always show that two cups that are standing upright, but she has her back to them. And this is supposed to symbolize the silver lining in the situation that the person might be oblivious to, because they are so focused on the loss. And, a year from now, if you play your cards right, pardon the pun, you could be saying to yourself, instead of saying, woe is me, you could be saying, wow, I really dodged a bullet. That was the best thing that ever happened to me, but I didn't realize it at the time. The outcome is the Six of Pentacles. This is give and take. You see the people on their knees. They're kind of like, you could say they're begging. They have their arms open. The woman who is standing there is bearing gifts, and they're receiving gifts. This is a card that is about the flow of energy. The pentacles is all about energy, and it can be, just pentacles in some decks are called coins, and so they can be about money matters. So, I mean, this whole reading could be about something along those lines. Your pentacles, because you're earth, and earth deals with practical matters, tangible things like money and your job and your health and your possessions and things like that. And the Six of Pentacles is about that give and take where nobody feels deprived. You're giving of something, like for instance, you're in the workplace and you're giving, um, of your time and energy, and you're receiving fair financial compensation. Or even on the, immaterial level, it can be that you're being praised or acknowledged positively on a regular basis. And that feels like, so you feel like your contributions are being noticed and appreciated both financially and on the emotional level. And same thing with personal relationships. It's not just one-sided. You're not just giving of yourself and somebody else is taking. And so you feel like there's a flow. You feel like there's this mutuality, if that's a word. It's not just one-sided, and that feels good. It doesn't feel good when you're giving to someone that is, not receiving the what you're giving. If you're giving love to someone and they're not interested, that doesn't feel good. That feels like the Ten of Swords. It feels like betrayal, especially if they are deceptive about it and they make it seem like it's going to be more than what it is. So it's a great outcome card for the situation that, kind of I've talked about. And yeah, so that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a tarot reading, a personal reading, or an astrology reading, or both, I have all of the above. You can check the link below for my offerings. Have a great month. Bye.